Tonight on Cronkite News, the Arizona State Sun Devils took on the Mississippi State Bulldogs this past weekend. How this game was historic for ASU's football program.
Plus, the Diamondbacks faced the Astros in a primetime Sunday night baseball matchup. More details and the updated MLB standings coming up.
And with election season ramping up, Arizona counties are getting ready for voting to begin. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Anna McClure.
And I'm DeAndre Sanders. Thank you for joining us.
It was an exciting night at Mountain America Stadium on Saturday where ASU made some program history.
That's right. Mississippi State was looking for an easy win on the road, but it was anything but. ASU took control out of the gate with the offense getting started quickly, with Sam Levitt striking first with a rushing touchdown early for the Devils. Then it was the defense's turn, getting a scoop and score for the second straight game. ASU led at the half 27-3, but Mississippi State would claw back into the game, scoring 20 points in the second half. The Devils 3. Kenny Dillingham, it was a learning experience for him.
We're not going to have 17, 24-point leads every halftime, right? We're going to be in some dogfights, and we got to be able to go back and forth with the counter punches. And I think today we finally had to punch back.
ASU continues to roll after getting off to a 2-0 start to the season. DeAndre Sanders was in Tempe with more on the game.
The drought is finally over after Arizona State University picked up the team's first SEC win after beating Mississippi State 30-23 in a game that was a little too close for comfort.
For us to get hit back in the mouth and then have to get up, that's what I was proud of. And we got up with a vengeance, and we needed that.
It was clear from the beginning ASU wanted to establish the run game early, and what appeared to be a big game in the works for quarterback Sam Levitt. The game quickly turned into the Cam Skattebo show. The running back came into the game 270 yards shy of 3,000 career rushing yards, so Coach Dillingham fed his workhorse time and time again, leading ASU to a 24-point lead going into the half.
So, blocking for him is just definitely a blessing, and definitely to have a back like that who's very passionate and emotional, I think you just better watch out and get out of his way.
Although Skattebo fell just shy of the 3,000-yard career mark, his 262 rushing yards is the second most in program history, behind Eno Benjamin's 312 yards. With the win, the Sun Devils improved to 2-0 on the year and hit the road on Thursday to battle Texas State. In Tempe, Arizona, at Mountain America Stadium with Cronkite News, I'm DeAndre Sanders.
The Devils will travel to Bobcat Stadium to take on Texas State this Thursday. With a win against the Bobcats, the Sun Devils will secure their first 3-0 start to a season since 2019.
The Cardinals got off to a fast start against the Bills in their season opener in Buffalo. The Birds scored 10 unanswered points and led by a touchdown at halftime, but that's where the offensive momentum ended. In fact, the Cardinals' offense accounted for just 3 points in the second half. Quarterback Kyler Murray having a hard time moving the ball. You see his numbers here versus Bills' Josh Allen. One key factor was a lack of connections with Marvin Harrison Jr. The rookie standout just got 3 targets all game. But as far for the Cardinals' defense, they are trying to put yesterday's game behind them.
First home game, and doesn't get more exciting than that, man. It's going to be a full crowd, and we're excited to play in front of it. I know my family will be there, so, it's the type of environment you dream of, and it's going to be awesome. It makes everybody smile just thinking about it. So yesterday's yesterday, and, you can only smile about the future, so.
The Diamondbacks travel to Houston to face 3-time Cy Young winner Justin Verlander on Sunday Night Baseball. The former MVP winner was no match against the Snakes' red-hot bats. Diamondbacks utility man Pavin Smith led the team's offense with 3 home runs. Smith launched a 3-run home run in the second inning against Verlander. He followed that up with a grand slam in the third inning, which was his second grand slam of the season and his third of his career. Smith's third and final home run of the game came in the 5th inning off of Caleb Ort. His third long ball of the game was just a mere solo home run. Ryan Nelson started the game for the Diamondbacks and allowed 5 runs in 4 2/3 innings of work. Kevin Ginkel recorded the final out of the 5th inning and picked up the winning decision in the contest. The D-backs bullpen combined to throw 4 1/3 innings while only surrendering 1 run and striking out 8. Third baseman Eugenio Suarez contributed 4 hits and a home run and drove in a pair of runners. As we approach October, the National League wildcard standings are becoming increasingly intense.
Here's Aaron Nemiroff with more on how the D-backs playoff picture is shaping up as the Diamondbacks fight for a wild card spot in the national playoff race.
Every game for the Diamondbacks from here on out could be the difference between making a deep postseason run or watching from home. Let's dive into where they stand and what lies ahead. Let's start in the NL West. The Dodgers are currently 6 games ahead of the Padres and 6.5 games up on the Diamondbacks. With only 3 weeks left to play and no games against the Dodgers to make up ground, the D-backs likely can't win the division. So for D-backs fans, the focus is now on the wild card. There are 3 wildcard spots in the National League. Currently, the Padres hold the first spot, the D-backs are in second, and the Braves and the Mets are tied for the third. The Padres have only a half-game lead on the D-backs, while the Braves and Mets only trail Arizona by 1.5 games. So this is a tight race. And now just for fun, if the playoffs were to start today, you'll see that the Diamondbacks and Padres would play in this 4-5 matchup. This could be the scenario at the end of the season. The only way this would change is if one of these 2 teams drops to the 6th spot and moves to this half of the bracket and would face the Brewers. Speaking of the Brewers, this could be the stumbling block for the D-backs in their path to the postseason. With 18 games left in the regular season, Arizona sees the Brew Crew twice for a total of 7 games. Milwaukee will likely be the NL Central champs, so they will be a tough opponent, but Arizona has beaten them in 4 out of 6 games this season. And you might recall they also beat the Brewers in last year's wildcard series. Now, the Padres don't have an easy time either, as they have 2 hard series against the Astros and the Dodgers coming up, which gives the D-backs an opportunity to pass them in the standings. As for the Braves and the Mets, the 2 teams have 1 more series coming up against each other this year. And the best case scenario for the D-backs would be for either team to sweep the other, pushing one of the teams out of the playoff picture and drastically increasing the D-backs' odds of getting in. And if you're nervous already about the D-backs' chances of securing a wildcard spot, things could get even more nerve-wracking with the final series of the season. The D-backs finished the year with a 3-game tilt against the Padres at Chase Field. Get your tickets for that one, as it could come down to those final 3 games. Should be a fun ride these final 3 weeks. At the touchscreen, Aaron Nemiroff, Cronkite News.
Yeah, and for the record, the D-backs and Padres have played each other very close this season. Arizona is 5-5 versus San Diego so far this year, with 1 more series to be played.
The college football season is officially underway, and fans can expect the season to look quite different than the last. Not only was there major conference realignment, but the playoff format is also changed, with the CFB introducing a new 12-team playoff bracket expanding from the 4-team format. The CFP officials announced that there will be 4 quarterfinal games and 2 playoff semifinal games that will be played in 6 bowls on a rotating basis during New Year's. One of these bowls is the Fiesta Bowl, which is held in Phoenix annually at State Farm Stadium. The new executive director of the college football playoff, Lieutenant General Richard Clark, sat down with Fiesta Bowl CEO Eric Moses to discuss the excitement behind the decision.
But the best thing to me is we're going to decide who the champion is on the field. And it's just going to be an amazing, amazing 11 games. And I couldn't be more excited to be a part of it.
Coming up next, we shine the light on Arizona's new professional basketball team.
Yes, Anna, the Valley Suns are excited to kick off their new season. The Valley Suns are preparing for the new season, practicing at Sun Devils Fitness Center. Many players competed over the weekend with only limited spots available.
Plus, temperatures have been soaring, but as a cool down headed our way, your full forecast is coming up next.
Explore the Southwest style that makes the Grand Canyon State so unique on Arizona Living. Host Danielle Lerner takes to the road to showcase the people, places, and culture at the heart of our state, while offering up some exciting ideas for your next getaway. Whether you're new to the area or a longtime resident just looking for a bit of inspiration, discover all that Arizona has to offer on Arizona Living. Sunday and Tuesday only on YourView or streaming at yourview.com.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Innovation at the Walter Cronkite School is pushing the boundaries of traditional journalism.
Storytelling has evolved over the years. This is part of that evolution.
Students in the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Lab are using emerging technology to create scenes in augmented and virtual reality, coding playable games, and bringing the audience into the story.
They're only limited by their imagination and their willingness to learn.
Find out more at cronkite.asu.edu.
Welcome back. Calling all NBA hopefuls who were not drafted this summer. Players had an opportunity to keep their professional dreams alive this weekend.
Yes, the new G League team, the Valley Suns, held tryouts, and our Wilder Adams was on hand with more about the team's process of putting together a roster for their inaugural season.
The Phoenix Suns' new G League team, the Valley Suns, held an open tryout on Saturday at ASU Sun Devil Fitness Center in Tempe. One local player who hit the hardwood is former Shadow Mountain High School standout Michael Bibby, the son of former Arizona Wildcat star and NBA point guard Mike Bibby.
Any type of basketball when you're at home, and especially at this level of the G League, NBA, I had to at least come out here and try to show what I got still.
Nearly 100 players signed up to compete for up to 3 training camp spots for the Valley Suns G League training camp. Guidelines to be eligible included that participants could have not been drafted by an NBA team, have an NBA contract, been a recipient of a G League related award, or participated in the NBA Summer League in the last 2 years. Players came in determined to leave their mark.
You can't come in here and just think that you should get something or expect anything, because there's a lot of guys with the same hunger as you and the same goals as you. People are here to try to feed their families.
Beyond pure talent and ability, what's going to give players a real chance to make the Valley Suns training camp squad is the intangibles aspect and the ability to buy into culture.
Biggest thing that will come to is just how you are. Do you play the right way? Do you do the little things, the details? Are you a good teammate? Like those type of things. Are you coachable? It's just really the small things that I think end up standing out in the big picture as we kind of look at it.
Basketball is a very ego-driven sport, but to healthily use that and share it with the people who we continue to play this game with, I understand that.
The players hope their professional hoop dreams will continue here with the Valley Suns. In Tempe, Wilder Adams, Cronkite News.
The Valley Suns begin training camp at the end of next month and open up their season on November 8th.
This weekend, in-state rivals clashed in Tucson. The 20th-ranked Arizona Wildcats found themselves trailing at the half, 10-6 versus Northern Arizona Lumberjacks. Early in the third quarter, Noah Falita finds Jeremy Patterson breaking a tackle and scoring the Wildcats' first touchdown. Patterson had 3 catches with 32 yards on the night, still 13-10 in the fourth quarter. Chuba Mai, causing havoc in the backfield. Arizona goes up 15-10 after the safety. The defense held the Lumberjacks to just under 200 total yards. Wildcats get it done 22-10, improving to 2-0 on the season.
If you were at the U of A or ASU game over the weekend, you know that he is still here.
Absolutely. So how long are these temperatures going to stick around? Sienna Monea has joined us with this weekend's weather around the valley.
It was pretty hot over the weekend, but we are going to be seeing those cooler temperatures tonight with 98 at 9 p.m. and then it's going to drop down to 96 at 10 p.m. Taking a look at our futurecast, we are going to be seeing some light rain showers up at the Grand Canyon and Flagstaff area with some clouds moving on through, bringing us some cool temperatures for this Tuesday. It's going to be 80 degrees as our low here in Phoenix, which is not too bad. It's going to be 46 up at the Grand Canyon, 49 in Flagstaff, and then 73 down in Tucson. For our highs, Arizona is going to be bringing on the heat. We're going to be in the triple digits with 110 here in Phoenix. And then we're still going to be in those triple digits on the west side of the state with 110 in Bullhead City, 83 up at the Grand Canyon, and then 103 down in Tucson. Taking a look at our 8-day cast, we are going to be on the cool down this weekend with 107 on Thursday. Friday, we're going to be at 104. And then looking into your Sunday, we're going to have a high of 100 degrees and a low of 80, which is actually below average for this time of year. And then looking into your work week next week, we're going to be in the double digits with 99 on Monday and then 94 going into Tuesday. I'm Sienna Monet from the Cronkite Weather Center. Back to you.
I'm Kayla Marina with the preview of your news headlines. Coming up next, a quick rundown of the presidential debate set to take place tomorrow night. We'll have more on what rules have been set for both candidates after the break.
It's what you do. It's how you do it. It's Arizona Living Your Life. Join host Kate Longworth for a show designed to help you live your best Southwest life. Get a closer look at the most enjoyable experiences to be found in Arizona. From great day trips to delicious dining spots to fun activities for the whole family. There's no shortage of new adventures awaiting you. Watch Arizona Living Your Life, Sunday and Tuesday only on YourView or streaming at yourview.com.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Innovation at the Walter Cronkite School is pushing the boundaries of traditional journalism.
Storytelling has evolved over the years. This is part of that evolution.
Students in the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Lab are using emerging technology to create scenes in augmented and virtual reality, coding playable games, and bringing the audience into the story.
They're only limited by their imagination and their willingness to learn.
Find out more at cronkite.asu.edu.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Kayla Marina here with today's headlines. As November inches closer, Arizona counties are getting ready for the general election voting to begin. Macy Markham joins us from Washington, D.C. to talk about how the largest county in the state plans to stave off election headaches for voters.
Today, the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors met to adopt a new plan for the 2024 general election this November. And there are a lot of changes coming from 2020 in anticipation of a big turnout. The board heard from 2 Maricopa County officials about changes to the election plan, saying a number of factors led to adding more staff and voting locations. Because of the number of initiatives and local races, the ballot will be 2 pages long. County election officials say they expect 80% of eligible voters will cast votes in this election. In Maricopa County alone, that's more than 2.1 million voters. Now, not all of them will vote in person, but that's still a lot of in-person voters, and the county wants to make sure they're ready.
On election day, we are expecting between 315,000 and 420,000 voters to visit our voting locations. And these are the voters that would be checking in to getting a ballot issued.
Election officials say it might take voters anywhere from 11 to 12 minutes to fill out their ballot. That's why they've added 20% more in-person voting locations. In Washington, D.C., Macy Markham, Cronkite News.
Thanks for that, Macy. Remember, the last day to register to vote in Arizona is October 7th, and the last day to mail your ballot in is on October 29th. Tomorrow night will be the first presidential debate between former President Trump and Vice President Harris. Both candidates had to agree to the set rules for the debate hosted by ABC, including muting the microphone when it is not their turn to speak. In the battleground state of Pennsylvania, Trump and Harris will take the debate stage in Philadelphia with no audience present. The candidates will have 2 minutes to answer questions with no notes or props allowed on stage. Heading into the debate, Trump and Harris are deadlocked in the polls. According to the New York Times and Siena College, Trump has 48% of likely voters and Harris has 47%. The stage is set and the debate will be hosted on ABC on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Arizona is receiving some election attention as well, with Vice President candidate Tim Walz visiting Phoenix tomorrow and J.D. Vance visiting the Valley last week. Vice President candidate J.D. Vance spoke during a campaign event at the Arizona Biltmore last Thursday. It was Vance's third time appearing in Arizona since being named Trump's running mate. Walz, on the other hand, will visit Phoenix on Tuesday as part of his Sun Belt tour, which included visits to Texas and Nevada. For several decades, the Apache trout was listed as endangered or threatened, but recovery efforts from the local and federal government helped delist the fish. Cronkite News reporter Ignacio Ventura tells us about what they did to achieve this goal.
It's a species located in the waters of White Mountains. This fish became listed as endangered in 1967. $5.1 million of funding from the Biden administration contributed to the recovery efforts. The Apache trout lives in fresh water and is a part of the Salmonidae family. Local and federal authorities announced that the trout had been delisted in a press conference in Mesa. The Department of Interior Secretary Deb Haaland says the species became the first sport fish and first trout delisted. James Guggenhauer, a member of the Arizona Game and Fish Commission, says conservation efforts did not come easily.
There was a lot of science that goes into making this happen. It's not just putting more fish in streams. It's about growing the fish, growing the genetics of the fish, making sure that they are healthy and self-sustaining.
Recovery efforts involved reintroduction efforts and removing non-native trouts. The Endangered Species Act continues to save animals from potential extinction. In the newsroom, Ignacio Ventura, Cronkite News.
According to the Department of Interior, the Endangered Species Act has already saved 99% of species from extinction. Tropical storm Francine formed in the western Gulf of Mexico late Monday morning. The storm formed with winds of 50 miles per hour and is set to become a hurricane later this week. Francine is likely to make landfall somewhere along the Gulf Coast in Louisiana. The storm is also set to bring heavy storms and hurricane-force winds to parts of Texas. Francine is the first named storm since Ernesto, which formed mid-August, despite predictions of a hyperactive hurricane season. And firefighters are battling wildfires across Los Angeles and San Bernardino counties. The line fire grew to more than 20,000 acres and is just 3% contained. Currently, more than 36,000 structures are threatened by the fire. Firefighters are also facing 100+ degree temperatures and steep terrain. 3 firefighters have been injured. Back here in the Valley, Scottsdale was ranked sixth best place to live in a study by Wallet Hub. The study compared 180 cities on 45 metrics. The 4 main categories were affordability, activities, quality of life, and healthcare. According to the study, the best place to retire is Orlando, Florida. This is due to Orlando being one of the most tax-friendly cities and a low cost of living. Scottsdale came in 6th. It rated with below average affordability, but ranked high in quality of life. That's it for tonight's news headlines. Now back to Anna and DeAndre.
Coming up next on Cronkite News.
An annual dog surfing event in San Diego. Many dogs love playing at the beach, but some would rather hang 10 on the waves.
Explore the Southwest lifestyle, the culture, the music, the food, y más. Join hosts J.R. Cardenas and Vanessa Ramirez for a Southwest adventure on Subida. Travel the state, enjoy the food, discover new artists, and fun things to do. Every week, JR and Vanessa share their discoveries with you.
Watch Subida Sunday and Monday night only on YourView and YourView.com.
Coming up on the cut.
Coming up on the cut.
Coming up on the cut.
How students can build their broadcast journalism portfolio with opportunities to learn more about on-air reporting and studio production.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network and on X at @CutASU.
What Cronkite News means to me is opportunity.
We do news right at Cronkite News, serving a community ethically, honestly, and truthfully.
And we can provide a necessarily different angle, different voice for those people that really need it.
The students, they have a lot of passion for journalism.
I get to do a lot of stories about the Hispanic community.
And we have access to cover all of these sorts of events and get media coverage of all these different personalities and athletes, and that's just a huge thing.
But it's also a chance for people here to be humanized.
Individuals of all walks of life.
Cronkite News will help take the next generation of journalists onto their next careers.
I am old enough to remember Walter Cronkite.
We're putting a lot of pride on his name because we are practicing a lot of the things that he did.
I think he'd be smiling from ear to ear.
I.
We are Cronkite. Sunday morning in San Diego.
Dogs and their owners got to have some fun in the sun. At the Dog Beach in Del Mar, some dogs got to hang loose this weekend for a good cause. 50 dogs and their owners met up for the Helen Woodward Animal Center Surf Dog Surfathon. This event raises funds for at-risk or orphanated dogs who are in need of local services.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Anna McClure.
And I'm DeAndre Sanders. Thank you for joining us.